go ahead and start questions with Paul in the second row.
Coach, you talked often before the season and even when the season started about your team defending the ball and that it always starts out front and guarding the ball. What have you seen from your defense so far besides that aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that for days, and I've always said that, and I still believe that it's true, is that you can have all sorts of schemes with your ball screen coverage, with your post-entry D coverage, with what kind of gap strength or deny strength you have or don't have. And I don't care if it's man or zone, at that point of attack where, the ball is colliding with the defender, or two people in a ball screen situation are colliding with two defenders, and what's behind them. Again, it's what your system is, but if you're not very good at point of attack, or if you're not very good at guarding the ball over and over and over and over, then you're always going to be behind. You're always going to be in a tougher situation. It's like, can you win? It's like the big picture. Can you win games from behind? Yeah, of course. But it's easier and better to play with a lead, just like defensively. You don't want to play from behind and rely on the guys behind you, the gap strength and the shot blocking or shielding or whatever the case is, your help situation. I think we're better than maybe we were at it, but it's something that we constantly talk about, that we constantly drill, and hopefully we'll get better and better at it.
Well, front row to Sam, and then we'll go to coach's right with Jacob.
This Memphis team, from a roster standpoint, seems completely different than the one you played last season. But stylistically, are they different at all, or is it still kind of the same philosophies, I guess, as last year?
No, it's entirely different, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they have anybody back from last year that is playing or in their rotation. And I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. If it's not entirely new, there may be one guy back. And, yeah, it's different. They got different strengths and weaknesses than the team did last year. So playing them last year won't have anything to do with playing them this year on both sides. For us, too, we got obviously a completely different feel and look as a team. And like I said, they certainly do. And we played them there last year. We play them here this year. So, it's a whole new team. And the things that jump out at first glance about them is just their depth. I mean, they've got to be one of the leading programs in the country in terms of how many guys they play on a consistent basis, how many double-digit minute averages they have, and you got so many guys that can hurt you, and so it's difficult to prepare for. That way the personnel scouting will be the longest one that maybe we'll have all year long, and then you look at their numbers, and defensively they're a top 40 defensive team in the country with their athleticism and their length, and then on the offensive glass, I mean that's probably one of their best attributes is just how they attack the offensive glass and create second and third opportunities for their team, and certainly there's a lot to get ready for, but those things stick out.
Coach, you've mentioned, in the past how you can be frustrated not knowing which guys to put out there in what situations. Kind of, what's your process like deciding who gets those minutes whenever nobody's really sticking out in a certain spot?
Yeah, the process is the same. I've been saying it for forever. Is internally and externally. Like, hey, listen, everybody wants to play, and normally, if you'd ask someone before the season started how many minutes they think they should play, it's usually a bigger number than they actually play. And it ain't just Mississippi State, it's everywhere in the country. And this year is no different, and then you do the math and it doesn't add up. There's only 200 minutes, and it's like, we got a problem here. But in terms of how you earn your minutes, obviously in the summer and the fall, it's about practice. It's not about what you did last year here or anywhere else. It's a fresh start for us, and you earn them in practice, and then in the scrimmages or closed door situations that your team certainly has something to do with it. And then as your productivity gets in the games or not, that usually determines, going forward if you get more minutes or the same or less. And at this point in the year, certainly practice still has a lot to do with it, especially the guys who aren't playing at all or very little. Like, that's their time to show us I deserve more, and I'm still bought in, and I'm still going to work to carve out whatever role that could be for this particular team. And we've got a handful of guys that are in that boat. And, fingers crossed for me and our staff, it's like, okay, 2 days before a game. Okay, you got 2 days, man. Like take someone's minutes, right? Show us that we're screwing up, and then get in the game and be productive. And it ain't about, scoring points. It's about everything else. That's what we need, is more of everything else from, a couple more guys to give us more consistency, to give us more quality depth, to show us, hey, this is what our rotation should look like.
Go to Colin here on the aisle to coach's left.
I know they've all been, I guess, their own difficult, experiences and obstacles to overcome, but you have won 3 of your last 4 games. I guess, have you seen the kind of growth that you've been looking for? I know with players like Jaden and Sergey maybe finding more confidence on the floor, or the team showing more cohesion, things like that.
It's nice that we've been able to win some close games. We lost some close games prior to winning 3 out of 4. And, if we had won those close games, the narrative would be slightly different, or more than slightly, but it's not. So, yeah, I'm glad that we've been able to learn from those mistakes, because like I keep telling them and everybody else, we're going to be in a lot of close games, and we got to use our experiences. We got to play smart, timely basketball. It all matters, but the obvious is that toward the end, the time runs out, and so you don't have any more time to make up for earlier mistakes. So that's certainly a positive. And I would hope that our team's confidence, I haven't met with them as a group yet until this afternoon. We gave them yesterday as a day off because we hadn't had one in a while with the travel and the timing of finals and just who we played where. And so we felt like everybody needed a 24-hour period to just kind of get right and, lock in and focus on this last game before Christmas, which is what we're trying to do.
We'll go front row, middle to Danny P.
Coach, we've seen Penny Hardaway have success as a player in the NBA, and just since he's become a coach, just what have you seen from his style, and how do you describe the style that he brings to the court as a coach?
Yeah, I don't know him all that well personally. I've coached against him, certainly know him, as a player like we all do, and then now as a coach. And, can't walk in any man's shoes like that, but, he's from there, and that program has a ton of pride and interest. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, on him to produce, at Memphis. But I know last year they had a terrific season. I mean, they were a 5 seed and won a gob of games. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. And, like everywhere, everybody wants more. I'm sure he wants more, and his players want more. Certainly the fans want more. The administration wants more, and that's just how it works. But, it seems to me he's been there quite a long time now, and he's had some great teams. And but I'd imagine that, every place has its own set of issues that they're trying to overcome, and I'm sure theirs no different.
We'll go second row, left to Paul.
Coach, how just checking on Jabbar McGee, how is he doing since Southern Night?
Yeah, I, again, haven't been with the team. I actually just met with the trainer right before I came down here to try to get an update on where people are at, and he is just about to see him. So unfortunately, I don't have like a real time update, but I know it's not anything long term, is what I've been told. So we'll see. I'll know more this afternoon.
We'll go ahead back to Sam in the front row, middle.
That Memphis game last year was a pretty big win early in the season, and even though this Memphis team might be completely different, does this feel like another opportunity where if you can get a win, it can maybe springboard into some momentum as you get further into the season?
They're all big games, but certainly right now it's the biggest game of the year. And, you could say that because it's our next game on our schedule. But it's more than that. It's Memphis. You know, it's right up the road, storied program. Like you said, we that was last year, and it was a heck of a way to go into Christmas break, and we played awfully well that afternoon. Doesn't have any bearing on Saturday's game, but I'm hopeful that, you know, our community and our fan base will come out and support these guys and be looking forward to having, you know, a program like this come to Humphrey Coliseum, because it's hard. Certainly the SEC teams have no choice. You get the schedule and you play it, but it's difficult to get Power 5 teams to play in your home arena sometimes. And it's difficult for a lot of people to do that. And so we are excited that we're able to get some quality programs to come in here. And I just hopeful for our kids that there's a good environment, that, you know, it's an ESPN game, and it's a game before Christmas, and we've won 3 out of 4, and it would be just a really good shot in the arm for us to win the game and to play well.
Anything else? All right, we'll see you Saturday.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.